Hey everyone, welcome back to another vlog, I think this is Vlogmas day 18, and today we're going to be doing some baking. So this is a Bake With Me Vlogmas. We are going to be making some cinnamon nut squares. When I was a kid, we had a few kind of classics that we always made every year for Christmas, and usually those were like our teacher gifts, or I don't know, just for us, like our family classics that we always ate as well. And I've shared most of them with you in the past. I think like last year I shared the other two, at least that stick out to me. I'm sure there was more. So I will have my Christmas treats playlist linked in the description box below. But today's video is extra special because it's part of an open collab hosted by Fallon from Moss Family TV. I'm sure you know who she is. If you don't, check her out. I will have her channel listed below. But she was asking people who wanted to join to make either like a recipe from their childhood or a vintage recipe. So I thought this would be a perfect time to share this recipe with you. So let's get started. All right, so to get started, we want to take 1 cup of butter, softened. I had these sitting on the stove as the stove was warming up because I just felt like they weren't getting soft just at room temperature because probably the counters are cold. Anyways, and I wasn't positive because my recipe that I wrote out didn't specify if it should be salted or unsalted, so I just did 1 stick of each. I figure can't go wrong. All right, I am going to be using my hand mixer, and we are going to cream together 1 cup of butter and 1 cup of sugar, just adding the sugar gradually. You want to get it nice and fluffy. All right, now I took 1 egg and I separated the yolk from the whites. We will be using the white later, but right now we're just going to be using the yolk. We're gonna add in 1 tablespoon of ground cinnamon, and 1 teaspoon of salt. And I always do a little bit less because I use pink Himalayan sea salt, and I feel like it's a little bit stronger than like regular white table salt. And then you want to add in 2 cups of flour, but this flour is not going to be like a packed cup of flour. You're just going to lightly spoon the flour into the cup to measure it. So that's what I'm going to do now. So you're supposed to spread this into a grease jelly roll pan. I'm going to use my Pampered Chef bar pan, which you are not supposed to grease, so hopefully this works out all right. Now this looks a little crumbly, but if my memory serves me correctly, that's okay because you're going to press this all in, and I think it's how it's supposed to be. But again, it's been a while since I've made this. Having a flashback. I think we used to spread wax paper over it and then push it out. I might be wrong, I don't know. But that's what I'm remembering. All right, guys, well, my memory served me correctly because I believe that's how we did it with the wax paper. So as you saw, I tore the wax paper a little bit towards the end, but yeah, that's what you do. So we're gonna spread it out. It's all spread out now. Sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied and I seem to be a little winded. And now we're going to take the egg white and brush that across the top and then sprinkle the nuts over and then press them in there. I say the nuts, I didn't tell you about that. 1 cup of chopped nuts. I'm using peanuts. My mom said we always use walnuts, but I didn't have those on hand and I'm not going to the grocery store till tomorrow. So peanuts it is. She said it wouldn't matter. So that's what we're gonna do now. Alright, and now we are going to bake this in the oven at 300 degrees for 50 minutes, and then you want to cut these into squares while they are still hot. Alright, it's been 50 minutes. Let's see how I did. Wow, it smells so good. Anyone ever do this when you're turning the oven off? You leave it cracked to help warm. Do that a lot in New York. Not as much in North Carolina, but I'm feeling cold right now, so. All right, now my directions say to cut while still hot. I'm just gonna use a big old knife. Now it's supposed to make 48, but I guess it depends on how thick you cut it. I really don't know how to tell if these are done yet. They seem quite soft, but I'm thinking it's just because they're still hot. So, I don't remember this part because I probably wasn't the one cutting them when I was little. So I will know once they're cooled if they are as I remember. I'm cutting it this way because I'm just trying to be really careful because they are soft and I don't want to mess them up. So if it looks like I'm doing it weird, I mean I am, but I'm trying to press all the way down, but without like messing anything up. And the pan's really hot, so I'm trying to not touch the pan. All right, I did not cut them evenly, but they look really good. So I just was checking to see if I had anything written on the back of the recipe, but I don't. So we're gonna let these cool and we'll let you know if these are any good. All right, now that they're cooled, let's see how they do. They're definitely harder, which is good, because that's what I remember them being like. All right, so they're a touch, they are supposed to be firmer than what they were when I was cutting them. They're a touch firmer than I remember them being. So I think it might be because I used the stoneware. So the normal time should be fine in like a regular pan. I probably should have done it for a little bit less with this. They're not burnt or anything, and they're really, really good. They're just more, they just break apart a little bit more because they're firmer, but they're really good. I'm glad I made these because I have not had these in so long. So I wanted to add on here that it's definitely was the bar pan that made them a little bit more crispy. Like I said, they weren't burnt, but because this pan stays so hot, I think they just kept cooking while they were cooling. So if you're using that kind of a pan, just cut back a few minutes on the cook time. Otherwise, just use a regular, like, jelly roll pan is what I have written down, but I think that's the same thing as a cookie sheet. I think that's just probably how my mom had it written down in her recipe. But anyways, that is it for this video. I hope you liked it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. And let me know if you're gonna give this recipe a try. I love this. I love that it's kind of different than other Christmassy treat recipes. It is sweet, but it's not like the sugary sweet like the buttercream frosting type of stuff that's on cookies or chocolate. It's just different, but really, really good. And so I hope you give it a try. Also, don't forget to check out Moss Family TV. I will have their channel linked below. Thank you, Fallon, for doing this open collab, allowing us to be a part of it. And I will also have the playlist linked as well as soon as that's available to me to do so. So yeah, I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you are new. Please consider joining my YouTube family and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on my future videos. I do a variety of content here on my channel, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye guys.